What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Get Ellievated Podcast. It's your girl, Ellie Talks Money, and I am so excited to bring you guys another amazing episode. You guys know that on the Get Ellievated Podcast, we talk about elevating your life, elevating your income, elevating your business, elevating your relationships, just elevating overall, and today is no different. You guys are going to love this episode because we're going to talk about some things a little deeper. We're going to go under the surface today, and that's very important. So grab your notebook, grab a pen, and let's get into these gems. Listen, everything you need to change your life is already within you. You need to believe that it has to work or it has to work. You got this. Scale your business, make more money, create your best life, and let's get elevated. Welcome to the podcast. All right, y'all, welcome back into the show. So I am so excited to introduce this guest. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I was on her podcast back in 2021 at the very start of my business, and it really inspired me. And now I have her on mine. And let me introduce you to Miss Koereyelle. No last name like Beyonce.
Come on, no last name like Beyonce. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey. So tell the people a little bit about you, what you do, all the things, just your amazingness.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I am Koereyelle. I used to introduce myself as like a serial entrepreneur for all of the things. And I still am very much so those things, but that is not what I wear like on my sleeve anymore. I am a very happily married woman. I am a not so happy mama, okay, because these kids is crazy, okay? They are real crazy. Mother of two. I have two, not under two, but I have a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. So I barely made it with the 2 under 2. And I am a recovering entrepreneur. I have been addicted to entrepreneurship for the last decade, and I am just now in recovery.
First of all, I just love this because I don't think we talk about that enough.
You don't?
There's this whole grind, go do it, start a business, do it. And I love entrepreneurship, right? I love telling people to start businesses, but I also think it's very important to realize maybe that's not my path. So when did you realize that maybe this isn't actually what you want to keep doing?
So I've gone back and forth. I've quit coaching. Like, people who are going to watch this and like, girl, she's quitting again. I've quit coaching so many times, which is like confirmation that it really truly is not what I'm called to do, because I can very easily say, okay, no, this is not in alignment. This does not fulfill me. It does not make me happy. I have never liked being not accountable to other people, but being, I guess, having to be accountable to other people.
Understood.
You know, for other people to be relying on me for their next move. I'm making my own moves.
Exactly.
You know, and I have never found the balance of building my business and helping you build yours. And I think that has always been a challenge for me. But truly, in my heart of hearts, I love doing the thing. I love teaching you how to do the thing, but I don't want to coach you, which is 2 very different things. So my professional background is in teaching, education. I taught for 4 years, 2nd and 3rd grade. My master's degree is in curriculum and instruction. So when it comes to teaching, I love that. I can show up and shine. I can teach on any subject, right? That's what I naturally know how to do and love to do, but coaching is not. It's not my jam.
And you know, I feel like there's been a big push. Go be a coach, go create a product, like go do all the things. And for people that are thinking about doing it, what would you tell them? Like, how would you tell them to really assess, is this right for you?
Ooh, one of my favorite things to say, and y'all, this is a quote, okay? So if you use it, quote your girl. Right. You got to ask yourself, is this a God idea or a Graham idea? Meaning, did God literally drop this inspiration in your spirit and say, this is what I'm calling you to do? This is your next assignment? Or did you get on Instagram and see what homegirl was doing and think, oh, she's making money doing that? I can do that too. Let me start a business doing XYZ because this is what everybody else is doing. Everybody's doing Airbnb. Everybody's doing Turo. Everybody's doing all of the same things, and it is a distraction, really.
Yeah.
And so I literally did a podcast episode a couple months ago, like, are your dreams a distraction? Are the things that you have been dreaming about that are literally a fantasy based on what you see somebody else doing, are those things really distracting you from the things that God is calling you to do? And a lot of times the answer is yes. A lot of times we're not doing what we're inspired to do. We're doing what we see other people doing, and we think that's what is going to make us money. And we're being led. And, you know, again, I'm recovering, okay? So I can only keep it real.
Right.
But I have definitely gotten caught up in the last, I would say, post-COVID. Post-COVID got caught up in chasing money.
Right.
Pre-COVID, I never like created a product thinking about how much money I could make off of it. It was just got an inspiration from God and I followed directions.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, getting in the communities of all of the course creators, all of the masterminds, all of these inner circles, and really got caught up in what should have been inspiration. It really turned into like an anxiety almost of like trying to keep up with what wasn't even
trying to keep up, trying to run behind it. And I can definitely relate because I think we've all seen this mastermind culture, inner circle culture. Join my inner circle, $50,000, $30,000. And it's just like, you know, breathe. Yes. And I think a lot of the time there's a push where your identity is so tied to how much money you're making.
1,000%.
But it's like, who are you outside of that?
Yep. Beyond business, what do you have? If money is the only thing that you can lead with, you don't have much. You don't have very much. And we were talking about this before we started, but things are changing now, right? And people are starting to get exposed. And so the people who, even if you have money, these scammers with money are starting to get exposed. So your money isn't the end all be all. And that is not, if that's all you have, you're not going to be left with much.
It's so true. And I think for those who are thinking about getting in, you got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Because we are seeing a time where a lot of people are falling off. A lot of people are not up to par. And, you know, Justin was just on here. Or was that you who said, if you are in the tide, something naked.
That was Justin.
That was Justin.
That was Justin.
But essentially, he's, you know, we were explaining and we were talking about how, you know, it's times like these where you can really separate the real from the fake.
Right. Because I feel like, and we've all heard the stories of like, you know, the people who are really, really, really like have made it.
Yeah.
All of them. I've never seen one that doesn't have a story of losing it and having to get it back. My thing is always, you can lose it, but can you get it back? That's what to me is going to separate the real from the fake, because life happens. Life be lifing. The economy changes. Trends change. Things change all the time.
Grocery prices.
But if you are devastated to the point where you cannot get yourself back up and figure out how to pivot, then I think that's going to be what separates.
Yeah. And, you know, it's okay to not do what everyone else is doing. So tell me, how has this shifted for you? What has quitting entrepreneurship been like? So,
okay, I can't say that I'm very much so an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I am just not basing my business on helping other people start businesses. I think that, and I knew this. I mean, this has been like over probably 18 months that I've been feeling pushed in different directions, but it's like, no, I'm off that. Like, I've done that. I'm not doing that. And then God is like, okay, well, go on and do what you think that you about to do. And I'm going to show you that, you know, I'm going to redirect you. It's constant redirection. But I had to realize that I was just another voice in the crowd pushing entrepreneurship. I am an advocate for entrepreneurship still, but I don't think it's for everybody. And I think that there's more to life than just starting a business.
Yes.
For the last decade, I have, you know, my laptop has been my bae, right? Everywhere I go, I have my laptop with me in case I need to do some work, because office hours is
all the time.
Ain't no close. It's always, if I'm up,
always
the office
open.
is open, right?
Yes.
If I'm awake, the office is open. And that is not a healthy way to live, and it's not sustainable. I had all the time in the world when I had all the time in the world. Yeah. I have kids now. I got a bunch of kids. Let me not say that, because you really do.
I really got children. 4 out here.
You really have children, so I just got 2. I really can't complain.
But it's true, though.
But I don't have the time that I used to have. My time is split amongst 3 men now, 2 baby boys and my husband. So the things that I could afford to do, or, you know, the way that I could use my time previously, it's not sustainable now. Yeah. And so I think for me, I've really had to start prioritizing, not balancing, because I don't really believe that that's even possible. But business is not my number one anymore.
And I really love that you're saying that, because I think that's an important conversation, that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur, right? And so when we think about, well, how would someone go and make extra money? What do you think people can do to improve their circumstance that may not mean starting a whole company?
Yeah, I think part-time entrepreneurship is something that should be talked about a little bit more. I think everybody, when they start a business, it's like, okay, I'm gonna start this business, then I gotta quit this job.
Right.
I'm gonna start this business and it's gonna be my end-all be-all. Not knowing the stress that really equals, not knowing the load that you're taking on, not knowing that there are no guarantees when you are the one that has to, you got to make some shake.
Hello.
You know, like, it's up to you. It's not for everybody. It's not for the weak.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely say digital products are still like my number one recommendation, because passive income is everything.
Absolutely.
Especially for busy people.
Yeah.
And so if you are, my audience is like 99.999% women. I know you talk to all the people, but the ladies, y'all gonna feel me on this, okay? Because our time is already like cut in, not even in half. It's like literally like we have a sliver left after we've done all the things for all of the people. We've been everything to everyone.
Yes.
And now you want to manage this whole full-time business. It might not happen. Yeah. But digital products are literally a stream of income that you can take 1 hour to create this thing, and you can get paid from this thing forever. And so I always encourage people to create digital products, not just an ebook, which is what comes to mind when people think about digital products. But I mean, I've worked with attorneys that have created like contract templates, or, you know, like really industry specific things that just make sense, things that you're using on your on a daily basis in your business or at your job anyway. Those are the things that I would encourage you to do. And it's just a little nugget. One of the ways that you can make I'm talking to y'all.
Come on, give it to them.
One of the ways that you can make money off of a digital product without having a huge following, which is what deters a lot of people. Like, I'm going to make this product, but who am I going to sell it to? Etsy.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm like, she going to say Etsy. Listen, people sleep on Etsy,
I was hitting the snooze button on Etsy. It was in the middle of the pandemic. I don't even know how I realized, because I thought Etsy's for crafts.
Right.
Like, Etsy is for homemade goods.
Whole time, it's a built-in business.
People are making, I'm talking about, they don't even have an Instagram page.
Literally, invisible business.
Invisible business. I don't have to know who you are. You don't have to post 10 times a day. You don't have to make, you don't have to do any of those things. You just create the product, because they have a built-in marketplace.
Yes.
So,
literally, I almost think of it as like the Amazon of like digital products.
For creators.
Yeah, because people go on there and search for what they need, and it's right there.
It's right there.
And you know what I realized goes really hand in hand with Etsy is Pinterest.
Yep. So I have not yet, I'm not using Pinterest the right way.
I'm not either. I know, but I'm trying.
Yes, and I know the potential though.
Yes, the potential is there.
Who's like, I make more money on Pinterest than any other network. It's bananas. It's possible.
Like, it's possible. It's okay. We're gonna figure it out. Right. We're gonna come.
You gotta have my girl on, and she will give y'all all the Pinterest.
Okay.
Not me.
And you know, I think that's good, because let's face it. Sometimes people do want to build a business or have a part-time business or make money, but people don't want to be the center of their brand. They don't want to be the face.
It's a lot of work. And I don't know if you've been seeing this. I don't even know when this is going to air, but there's been a lot of conversation recently on Instagram about like people quitting their businesses in droves.
Oh my God, yes. We were just talking about
Emily
this.
did a post. I don't know if you know Emily, but Emily put up a post a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about the fact that so many Black women specifically have built these personal brands that are not sustainable unless our face is in front. And I know people who have, you know, started on this in this direction, and then they realize, oh shit, I gotta show up. Like, this is relying on me. Yes. And then they've even gone as far as to try to hire like a face of the brand, and people don't want that person,
because they're like, who this?
They're who this. I want you. And so you've literally like put yourself in prison almost to this personal brand that you've built. And it's just not sustainable. Not for a lifetime.
Yeah, because things change. You have kids, you get married. You also decide, you know what, I want to disappear.
I want to spend my time in a different way.
You know, on an island somewhere. Yeah. So I think that's a really good point, in that you have to build something that makes sense for you long term. And if it stops making sense, it's okay to pivot.
That part. How you start is not how you have to stay.
So tell me about your pivot. How does one pivot successfully?
So I'm really going back to my roots. You know, I know people get confused when it's like the 180 to 360. I think I'm making a 360 because I'm going back around to where I started. The very first business that I started was called the Single Wives Club.
I remember.
And it was a relationship, literally a decade ago. It's crazy. But I had gotten out of an abusive relationship. I was engaged to be married, called it off, and realized I had no clue what being a wife was all about. Like, I still desired to become a wife, but I had no clue how to prepare. And so in me searching for resources, like literally just on the internet, like how to be classes. That's what I was really looking for because I'm an educator. Yeah. I need to know how to do something. Let me go find a class.
Yes.
There were none. Like no classes, no programs, no nothing unless you were already engaged. Like premarital counseling type of stuff. But there were no resources for 100% single women preparing to become wives. And so I started the Single Wives Club to be that resource. So I feel like I'm kind of bending the block. I, started that as a resource for myself and, to help other single women too. And that single women ran me out of town. Okay. I ended up like closing that business down in 2017. Ironically, the year I met my husband was the year I stopped running that business. But I literally just did personally what I was preaching through the Single Wives Club. Yeah. And so, but the women didn't want to do the work. That's why I ended up not doing it anymore. But now that I can actually show, okay, girl,
it worked.
You see him, right? You see him.
And these two kids.
Girl, and people will hit me up now that's like, girl, you really did it. Like all of those things that you said, you did it. And I'm like, okay, it's easier now that I can show you the result versus me just preaching and I didn't have it. It's hard to listen to someone about something that they don't necessarily, that they don't have themselves, which was a big challenge that I ran into. So all of that to say, I'm not starting the Single Wives Club again, but through my podcast and through other programs and events that I am running right now, I'm able to still help women make the money and get the honey. That's my thing. I love that. All this time talking about money. Now let's focus on the honey.
And so how do we balance it, right? So I recently got married. Thank God.
Yes. Congratulations. Hallelujah. Look, after all of those lives we did.
I know.
Balance in the bag. You did it, girl. We spoke it into existence.
Oh my God, we really spoke it into existence. Yeah. And so, it's been a shift, right? Being a boss, having your business, being this side of woman, and then having to go and definitely not be a boss, be a wife. How do you balance it? And how do you think that women who want to make that shift should balance it? Like, what things do they need to let go of? Because it can be very easy to be caught up in, I'm a boss, I make money, you got to come, right? Just ready to tussle.
It's very easy until you realize men don't care about that.
Oh my God, they don't.
And the one who does, that's not the one you want, right? The one who really cares about all that you have probably wants what you have.
And literally is plotting.
Right, that's not the one that you want. For me personally, it's very easy because I don't want to run it all. Yeah. I don't want to be the strong one. I don't want to be the brains. Yeah. I don't want to figure it out. And I've spent so much time as an entrepreneur having to make all the decisions, having to do like all of the jobs, wear all of the hats, be strong, be tough, wear your game face, all of those things as an entrepreneur that at home, help me. I tell my husband, help me. I need help in life.
I need
help, please. I do not
I can't figure it out.
But you know what? When I as I'm saying that, I'm like, okay, that's who I am today. But the single me, who this answer is probably going to help, I was not like, help me, please, help me, I'm poor. That was not me. It was getting the right partner that made it easy. And a lot of the things, most of the things that were like issues or challenges or my complaints as a single woman, they literally just disappeared when the right man came along. Those problems and challenges and complaints and issues that you keep running into are because you're running into the wrong people. Yes. But I truly believe like the right partner for you is going to eliminate a lot of that. And so he makes, not balance, because I don't really believe in that, but the right partner makes prioritization easy, right? It's a no-brainer. I am prioritizing my family.
Yes.
My man, over anything else that we got going on. Now, he's home with the kids right now as needed, but in the grand scheme of things, they are a priority all day, every day. There's no question, no doubt about it. And anybody who asks me for anything has to know that, right?
Yes.
So I think prioritization is a big thing, but then also knowing, like, what do you want your life to look like? Like a long time ago, I knew I didn't want to run a company where tens and hundreds of people relied on me. That's not the stress that I want in my life. Like, I've learned that I'm much more comfortable and I shine more as a solopreneur with, some help.
Yes.
Versus the leader of this company with this team. That stresses me out.
It's too much.
So knowing what you truly want, knowing what you want your life to look like, and then knowing your capacity.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you can actually handle? Because, again, we can base our goals off of what we see on the gram, but we don't know what it takes to run that. You don't know, what it takes. That payroll.
Child.
Will get you.
Can we talk about it? Listen.
That will change your goals real quick.
It will change them very fast, and it will make you realize,
I just want to be a solopreneur.
I'm good.
Let me get an independent. Okay, yes.
Yeah, let me spin the block on that. So you posted, this might have been a couple days ago, and I want to ask you.
Okay.
A man that's making $45,000.
Girl, that was yesterday, girl. The people
Listen! $45,000, loyal, good guy. $45,000.
$45K.
$450,000. Cheating. Fine, but cheating. Which one we marrying? Which one?
So I think that it's not a fair question for a woman who has money.
I know.
It's skewed.
It's hard.
It's skewed because you're going hey all day, hey because you're not worried about money. You don't need a man with money. You got your own, right? So it's not really a fair. I set the people up. Really is what I did because it's not really a fair question unless. You need a man to survive. Then you're like, okay, well, what am I going to do with $45K? Especially if you want to be like stay at home, housewife, and what they make is all that, is all that the household has to depend on. I personally value loyalty over money. And I've also been with very successful men who have a lot of money that ain't sharing it and they're stingy. So the gag is we don't know the rest of the story. And I made up these answers, right? I didn't give y'all much context. I didn't give you many details because B, with the $450K, that doesn't mean he's sharing any of that money with you. That doesn't mean he's generous. That doesn't, it doesn't mean any of that. So if you're only looking at the money, you're not going to get very far. You're missing a lot. Yeah.
And I agree because I've been on both sides of the spectrum, right? My ex was broke.
The A,
right?
Okay.
My current husband is successful, but they was opposite, right? He's successful and good. My ex was broke and not good.
Like, how you broke and what
Can we pick a side, please?
Pick a side.
How you gonna be broke and rude?
What are you bringing over here, sir?
So learning that, I'm like, character goes so far. And I really realized also going from having no money myself to now having a very successful business, you realize that everyone has moments in life where they're down.
Exactly.
And you can't look at where someone is in this moment and say, this is where you're going to be forever. Because someone could have judged me and been like, oh, she only got a stimulus check. And then
look what I did with
what I did with it.
Exactly.
So I think that character outlasts. And that's why I feel like this landscape we're in, right? There's some very toxic conversations that happen because it's, go start a business, go do all the things, maybe whatever, do all the entrepreneur. And then there's also, don't be with a man unless he can pay all your bills.
100% of the bill. Who's really living these lives though? I don't, because the people I know in real life, they don't subscribe to these things.
Yeah.
The women who I know that are happily married in healthy relationships, they don't subscribe to these internet rules. These are internet rules of engagement.
Girl.
This is not reality, okay? Go ask someone who's been married 20 plus years. Tabitha
oh my
Brown.
Gosh, love
she
them.
said something and I was like, that's it.
Yes.
She said, my husband is my partner, not my provider. And I said, you know what? That's it right there. Because I've never desired to be taken care of in the sense of, I'm gonna provide everything. Like,
yes.
You just come
just
do what
sit.
That's not the life that I want. Again, you got to know what life you want to live. That's not the life that I wanted to live.
Yeah.
And again, I've dated people who had the life that was like you just fit into their perfect thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to fit into your perfect thing. I want to build our perfect things
together.
And that to me is what the value in having a partner versus just having a provider. Because these men who are just out here taking care of your whole life, not all, but the majority of the time, there's a lot that comes along with that.
Absolutely.
That's the conversation that's not being had.
It's not being had, and it's not a full picture. And I think that goes back to what you said about, is this gram led or God led? You know, do you want this type of relationship because that's what Instagram says? Or do you want this type of relationship because you really are listening to what God has over your life, exactly. You know? And we can't prescribe to that. That's why, do you ever put yourself on like a social media just fast?
Ellie, I've never done that.
Girl.
I lost the phone one time. I was on a boat, like in the middle of nowhere for 7 days. I lost the phone. That was the longest I ever went without social media.
Wow.
And that was in 2019.
And how did you feel? Were you stressed or was it like, oh?
It was a little bit of both because I was on a vacation.
I know.
With no phone. It literally on a like yacht week type of thing. So I was literally on a boat in the middle of nowhere with no phone. So it was kind of awful.
Yes.
But it wasn't like, oh my God, my life is ending.
Yeah.
Probably because I couldn't do anything about it, so I didn't have a choice anyway. But
yeah.
Do you do detoxes?
I do. I mean, I put myself on time limits on my phone, okay. Right? So I'm trying not to be on TikTok and Instagram for more than a few hours at a time, like per day, because I think that it can be really easy to slip into this comparison hole. And then you're like just looking around at all the other people. Well, maybe I should do this or they're doing that. I don't have that. And then before you know it, you've lost your own sense of self. Exactly. Yes. What you want. And so I want to ask you this too, because I feel like you're a very multi-passionate person. You're very multi-talented and you've done a great job at doing a lot of different things. Yeah. For someone who is also multi-passionate or talented, how would someone choose?
So I like the theory of like your lowest hanging fruit. And your lowest hanging fruit to me. So I believe you can do anything, but you can't do everything. Yeah. Right? And you can't do it all at the same time. So over your lifetime, you might be able to do everything, but doing everything right now today, probably not going to work out. So lowest hanging fruit, excuse me, is literally what you can reach up and grab with the least amount of effort, the least amount of resources. Like what is in your wheelhouse? What do you have access to? How can you use what you got to get what you want?
Listen.
All right, Players Club. Hello, somebody. So based on like the multiple things that you're interested in, make a list of those things. And then, as you look over that list, think about, do you have the resources today,
right now,
to start this thing? If not, okay, we'll put that on the back end. Do you know somebody with the resources to start this thing? No? Okay, we'll put that over here. And go through your list until you come up with the thing that you can get started the quickest with the least amount of effort, so you can use that thing to fund those other things.
I love that. And I think the resource part is important because so much of the time we'll have an idea for a business, but because we don't have the money, we feel like a failure. But one thing I've realized is sometimes it's not a no, it's just a not yet.
Right. Yep.
This is just, I want to do that. I want that restaurant. But this is just
today.
Not today.
Not today. And that's okay, because I've also made the mistake. Having money, I have not read Damon John's Power of Broke, but in my mind, I feel like I understand what he's trying to say. Is the power of broke is like you get scrappy, you get creative, you figure out some stuff, you got some skills you didn't even know you had because you have to have them. You don't have a choice. Yes. I not even came into money like it was a trust fund, but when I really started making money, girl, if I had an idea, I was doing it. Like, I thought of the idea at 1:00. By 1:05, the website is up. Like the equipment has been purchased because I have money. I could just, all of my great ideas, I can do it. And that is also not good. That having the resources can also bite you because now you are spreading yourself thin, thinking you can do all the things because you have enough money to do them, but you don't have the mental capacity to do them. You don't have the time to do them. You don't have the team to do them. So not having money and resources sometimes can work in your favor too.
I love that. You said it's called The Power of Broke.
The Power of Broke. I'm going to actually read it because I've been referencing it. I need to
I'm going to read that, but I can see how that makes sense.
Think about you with that stimulus check.
I had to figure it out.
So much with that stimulus check because that's all you had, right? Versus when you start, when it's easy to just spend, you're spending, but you're not always as strategic. And that's because you got more. There's more where this came from.
You're like, oh, I can make it back. Let me try this. Let me do this. Let me try that. And then before you know it, you find yourself
spread too thin. That money is dwindling, or you're not focused on the thing where you started. Like you're losing sight of the goal.
And so, what do you think that women entrepreneurs who are in entrepreneurship or just trying to figure out if it's for them, what do you think is the biggest thing that they struggle with? Where do you think that in the women you've worked with, where do they need the most help and support?
Confidence, 1,000%. Confidence, and social media, Instagram specifically, has been a blessing, right? So I be talking about Instagram, but it has been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
We love you, Instagram.
I cannot even pretend it has not been.
We do.
But the curse, right? It's a gift and a curse. The curse to me is what it's done to people's confidence. It crushes the confidence of people who are competent, people who are truly capable, but they see Ellie doing it in Ellie's way, and they think, oh, well, I can't do it the way Ellie's doing it, so I can't do it at all. Not realizing that God has gifted them with their own way of doing not even what Ellie's doing, their own way of doing what they're meant to do.
Exactly.
But we are so busy looking at what you're doing, looking at how you're doing it, looking at how she did it, and so we literally don't even slow down or get quiet or sit still for long enough to tap in or tune into what we are meant to do.
Yes.
And so we can't be confident because we never got started. For me, confidence comes from accomplishing something, right? So you got to start so that you can complete one thing. And even if it's a small thing, like the confidence boost that you're going to get just from doing that small thing is going to propel you into doing that next thing.
It's so true.
And women deal with imposter syndrome. Like, I don't think men... Y'all probably don't even know what
they can't even relate.
They cannot relate.
Yes.
But women will be capable. We'll have the degree for it. We'll have the certification. I mean, we will have all of the things, and we'll still talk ourselves out of doing it because we've never done it in this way before.
Yeah.
Especially for entrepreneurship, because a lot of people, everybody starts from somewhere,
Literally.
right? Everybody had to get that first client, that first sale, that first whatever. So, you can't expect to be an expert at something you're just starting at.
Yeah, you got to start, fail, figure it out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Get back up, try again. And I think that's so true. Confidence is built over time. I always think of it as a muscle.
Yep.
You got to keep really flexing it in order for it to show through. And it's not going to come from comparison at all. And it's also not going to come from hiding yourself. You got to get out in front of it and say, let me just try.
Yep. Let me just do it in my way. I think that's besides confidence, it's like knowing that what you are called to do is for you.
Yeah.
So instead of, again, comparing yourself to what other people have going on or feeling like you know what you want to do, but I got to do it in the way that they're doing it.
Yes.
That to me is what slows so many people down. It gets you stuck, and it's literally like you sabotaging your success.
It's you and I want to ask you this too about friends.
Girl, let's talk about it.
Because I think as women, when we start to want to change our lives, sometimes our relationships with our friends change, with our girlfriends. How do women deal with that? And when they start to see people being different in response to their own level up process, how to suck it up and just keep going?
Girl, Ellie, I don't think I'm the right person for this question, okay? You good. Okay.
No, because it's happened to me.
It's rough. This conversation keeps coming up on my podcast.
Oh my
adult
gosh,
friendships.
I lost 2 friends this year.
I was literally about to say, in 2022, I had 2 adult friend breakups, and
that's crazy.
I see it as good and bad. The good is it's a sign of my evolution. It's a sign of my growth and my maturity, because I actually broke up with these friends. I didn't just ghost them. I am call me Casper. Okay, I will ghost your ass. I will disappear. Where did she go? Where is she? I haven't heard.
Not here.
Because I'm non-confrontational. I don't want to argue about it. If you do something to me, I'm just gone. You'll figure out whatever you did, but I'm gone. I actually had tough conversations with people who I've been friends with for more than a decade, a long time. So the great thing is that I was mature enough to have those tough conversations. But the bad thing is nobody wants to lose friends. And when you lose friends that have been around for so long, it makes you question
Who is it?
What you been doing for these teens?
I know.
Were we really friends?
Right.
Were you side-eyeing me? Were you
the whole time?
You were in my wedding. What was you thinking when it makes you think all of those things when you have history with people. So to answer your question, I don't have an answer. It's hard. I don't know what to do other than giving yourself grace and knowing that this is a part of life.
Yeah.
I mean, people grow apart. That is the honest truth that, and two, especially when we start talking about like getting married.
Yes.
That's the quickest way to lose a friend, right?
Child.
Get a man, okay? That
Girl.
is that how you lost your friends?
Yes.
That'll do it.
Literally 2 weeks after my wedding.
Did I call it or did I call it? That'll do it.
I'm like, wait a minute.
That'll do it.
You were just there at the wedding. So why are you arguing with me 2 weeks later? I'm really trying to understand.
That will weddings and babies.
Yeah.
Weddings and babies make you question
a lot
yourself. Like what if that's your desire? Let me say that. If that's your desire, when that starts happening around you, that makes you look at like, well, and not to say that this is how you should look at it.
Right.
I don't think something's wrong with you if you don't have a husband or kids.
Yeah.
But you start to look at yourself like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have this? Why does she get that? Who does she, and you start to think of, well, she doesn't deserve that.
Yes.
So, because, deep down, you don't really think that you deserve it. There's a whole thing.
It's a whole lot.
And if you are not secure with you, then you're not going to be able to be happy for anybody else. Like,
yeah. That's just really made me think about something, right? And I think so much of the time, especially as Black women, we deal with a lot, first of all, society, trauma, just so much. And I think sometimes people are looking for the next, big amount of money, the next thing to do to make them more successful, when really maybe what women need is therapy.
For starters. Yes.
Maybe we just really need to
prerequisite to life.
Yeah.
I've said like several times, like therapy. Well, I actually said this. Like after you have a child, you should be given a therapist. Like you go home with the baby and a therapy referral. Like
immediately.
The fact, we're not talking necessarily about motherhood right now, but the way that like your brain,
changes.
Not just your body, your brain changes after having a child. And you're literally just sent home with a baby, like that to me is just
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
It's really dangerous.
It is outrageous. And I'm a grown ass woman. I had my first child at 35. I can't. Y'all are sending 15-year-olds home with these kids.
No way.
And saying good luck. Okay, here's some diaper. That is crazy. It's
crazy.
So yes, we need therapy for every major change, transition, season in life. You need someone that you need a safe space. I'll say that. Maybe therapy isn't for everybody, but you need a safe space. Whether that's a friend you can talk to, a pastor, a life coach. Because, therapy might not be for you, but maybe you get a life coach. But having a safe space to just release what you're holding on to, that is.
And being able to work through it and realize, you know what? Because I love what you said about actually knowing your own. What do you want your life to look like?
Yes.
Not someone else's, not what you see but yours. What do you want yours to look like? And you can only really discover that by taking the time to probably heal and figure out what were some of those traumas you were dealing with and to get a whole relationship. Because did you have to go to therapy after your ex-fiance?
Before and after.
Child, me too.
Yeah.
I went to therapy.
A lot of us have PTSD from so many different life things that we're just like sweeping it under the rug, putting on makeup and going on about our lives.
And you know what, Co? That probably leads to us wanting to be not overachievers, but this desire to like, oh, let me go and do more. Let me be a better entrepreneur. Let me start another business. Let me do this. Let me do this.
Performative. Yes. Everything is like performance based. And that to me is one of the main reasons why so many high achieving, super successful women are single or stay single. I'll say that, not are single, but stay single for so long because we control we want to do what we can control, which is business. I can get out here and make this money. I can get out here and run this company. You're not going to run no man. You can't make a man come along and do
especially
right.
Not a good one.
Not a good one, right? The one you can run, you should run away from. Okay.
No facts.
So
I like that.
to me is the biggest, is part of the challenge. It's like, I'm going to put all of my energy and time into the thing that I can, control or dictate. And that's not a relationship. So I'm going to do everything away from what I really desire, which is, companionship and partnership and love. Like,
and love.
If you are someone that's saying, I don't need a man, I don't want a man, you must ain't met no man.
Because
a real one.
Why would you not?
A real one?
What? It's just so.
You singing a different tune.
You gonna be like, how did I ever live my life?
Girl, I have proven that I can do it on my own.
Yes. And I'm done with that.
You.
No thanks.
No thank you. No.
I literally tell my husband, like, I'm all decisioned out today.
Don't
Please
ask me
handle it.
nothing.
Yeah.
Don't ask
I don't
me
know.
anything. I do not
Whatever you
know.
want to do, babe.
Whatever. And
sounds good.
People, so we went on like a family trip last fall, and it was like, you know, couples, and I don't ask them. I'm so nonchalant. I'm not even like I'm trying to be, just naturally. I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
So all the other wives are like, well, where are we going? What time we gonna be there? What? And I'm just in the back, like, you know, on my phone. And they're like, how are you? Not asking questions. I trust my man. Like, I don't have to know every detail. I know he's figured it out. He didn't, you know, like he's made plans.
You know, hello.
And I'll be there.
And I'll be there.
And I love that for me, because I don't want to get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody
I don't
else
want
to
to
do it.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to plan for it. I damn sure don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that's you know, I'm grateful for our journeys, because we now realize that we don't want to always have to be in the driver's seat, because we've been in one for so long. You know, you learn by having to go get it on your own. Okay, I know what that feels like. Now let me try something else. Yeah. Let me try just not having to go.
It makes you appreciate it.
It does make you appreciate it. So another thing I want to ask you before we wrap is about soft life.
Yes.
I want to know, is it real for women? When do we get it? How do we get it? And yeah.
I think soft life, well, defining soft life is like the first thing, because soft life for me, girl, you got 4 kids. I don't know what your soft life looks like, okay?
It looks
and
like
my soft life,
quiet time.
My soft life as a mother is not the same as soft life as a single woman, right? It is 2 totally different things. So when I say soft life, I don't mean I'm sitting around in my bathrobe, like drinking champagne, sitting on the couch. I have tiny children.
Yes.
My soft life does not look like that every single day. Now, some days it does, right? But some days it looks like I can afford to close my laptop and just look at my child.
Yeah.
I can afford to just get down on the floor and play with these dinosaurs. That is soft life. You know why? Because I have the freedom to choose this for myself. The hard life is somebody else being in control of me. The hard life is somebody pounding on my door saying the deadline is 5 minutes from now. You need to make sure you have this in. So to me, the soft life is like freedom. My freedom is my soft life. It's me deciding what I'm going to do today. Not that I get to do everything that everything that I do today is not going to be fun, but I'm deciding to do it. Nobody else is forcing it on me.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to decide and define what your soft life means. This is why I think vision boards don't work, because we don't define what we truly want.
It's
we
just
sit down with these magazines and we're like,
yes.
oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. And we look over on her poster. You're like, oh, that's a nice ring. So I go looking for this ring. You didn't even want that.
Yeah.
You have no desire.
It's just another version of Instagram.
It's just another, like, stop it. So first of all, figuring out what that looks like for you, figuring out if it's something realistic for this season that you're in. Every season is not meant to be a soft season, right?
Yeah.
So this might be the season that you're sowing. You might not be reaping the soft life in this season. So you're sowing your soft seeds, right?
Yes.
I'm going to do some hard work today to sow those seeds so that in the spring, the flowers are going to bloom. And I'm going to have the freedom and the time to enjoy the roses.
Yes.
Right? But,
I love that.
But I got to do the work to plant it.
Hello.
Right? So I think that's part of it. It's not like you just get to lay back and relax. That's not realistic.
It's
so
not.
When you say, is it realistic? Can it happen? Yes, but not like that.
But not
what
like
people
that.
Are,
not how the Instagram is telling you.
No, because you're going to be broke.
You're going to be.
The soft life is not so soft if you are broke.
Literally. And trying to pretend. You don't want to pretend to have a soft life. It's okay to work hard. It's okay to say, you know what? I am in my sowing season. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sowing my soft seeds.
Yes.
I love that.
Make that the title.
Straight like that. Yeah. Girl, please tell the people where they can find you, connect with you, listen to your podcast as well.
So I am Koereyelle across social platforms. Girl Stop Playing. Every single week, you can log on to girlstopplaying.com. And I don't know when y'all are going to see this, but I am super excited about Grown Woman Weekend. I'm not going to say too much because I don't know when y'all are going to see this, but follow me. Stay tuned. Okay, something special is coming.
It's coming.
I'm getting back around into my outside
Outside
game,
Co.
Okay, Outside Co is coming back, so stay tuned. But I really truly am passionate about helping Black women specifically prepare for life's major milestones. We do not do enough talking about marriage and motherhood.
It's huge.
And it's everything for so many of us, and we are just like on the job training. Like, I'm just gonna figure this out.
Yeah,
and it's stressing us the hell out. So I'm excited about that. Would love to connect with y'all. And Ellie, I enjoyed this. I appreciate you for inviting me.
I am so grateful. So y'all, this is a great episode. Grown woman, no last name like Beyonce. We love it. Y'all make sure you connect. And really, I want you guys to think about you are sowing your soft seeds in this season. And if you're someone listening and you realize, you know what, maybe I don't want to be a full-time entrepreneur, that's okay too. You can elevate your life in so many ways. So, love y'all. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye. So if you want to be on the next episode of Get Ellievated, or if you want to be in touch with me and the team, then you can email podcast@getelevated.com or find me on Instagram and email me at hello@ellietalksmoney.com. Either way, we cannot wait to have you on the show and have you apply to be a guest for a part of the live business coaching. I'll see you guys soon.